So pleased to have you along. This should be a good one. We're set, and off we go here on EA Sports. And he'll be taken down right at the 29-yard line. So the Tampa Bay offense set to work for the first time in this one. They'll be led out by a young man who's making a name for himself, their rookie quarterback.
Individually, I think he comes in today feeling pretty good about what he was able to accomplish last week. It's almost hard to believe his performance resulted in a loss, Mike. I mean, 4 touchdowns. The 1 interception on a bad read where the ball got away from him. What that tells me is they need to play better collectively as a team. Get a better performance from their defense, a better performance from their special teams. Tighten everything up. Because if he plays like that at the quarterback position, and as a result, the offense has that level of production, they should expect to win a lot of games.
Here's a 3rd down and 4. And this is going to be incomplete. That is great work there, making things difficult defensively. It'll set up a 4th down. Picking time for the Bucs. They'll punt it away. The Tennessee offense taking the field for the first time. They'll be led out by the young man in his 2nd season in the NFL.
And while I don't think that stat line last week had him up for any sort of awards, if I had to guess, he'd much rather have a modest game and a win as opposed to throwing for a bunch of touchdowns in a loss. The biggest thing that he did, Mike, he took care of the ball. So as long as he continues to do that, they're going to have a chance to keep on winning.
And this will gain a couple of yards up to the 22-yard line. There you get a look at his numbers on the ground a week ago as a part of their victory. Look him up on a 2nd down and 8. Off the play fake. He'll look to throw. A toss, left side, caught by his running back.
All right, so there's really 3 areas that a modern NFL running back has to excel in. Number 1, the traditional handoffs. Number 2, you have to be excellent and reliable in pass protection. And maybe bigger than all of them, you have to be at least serviceable.
Back to the sideline and intercepted.
Well, we're getting a little test here early, Mike, to see just how easy is this team to wrap. Didn't look like they were able to get through that opening script that they had worked on all week. So I'm going to be curious on this next drive. Do they stick to the plan? Do they pick up where they left off? Or is there a little bit of a reaction, or dare I say panic, to come out and make some adjustments in response to that early interception?
The Buccaneers offense ready to get going with their 2nd possession. They'll search for the first points of this game as they begin the drive on 1st and 10. They send Godwin in motion. A give. This is Irving. That one never got started. Defensive pressure too much, and they drop him in the backfield.
Well, they try to get the run game started here early on this drive, Mike, and they're just going to have to do a better job up front. There's really nowhere for this ball carrier to go. You never want to lose yards on 1st down, but that's exactly the case here.
Gets it away quickly, and it's caught. And that'll go for a gain of 7, and it's going to set up 3rd down. Here comes the blitz as he looks to throw. And he will not quite get to the marker. Good job there defensively, and now decision time. What are you going to do on 4th down? He'll drop to throw. Coming open, that's the tight end likely. And he will have that 1st down. Taking a chance here early in the game, but they convert on 4th down. Back to the air one more time. That one into the hands of Moore downfield. Nice throw by the rookie from Oklahoma. And he's got his guys a 1st down.
And these are the throws that when they evaluate young quarterbacks coming out of college, they want to see you be able to make. Everyone worries about how far you can throw the ball. And while that's certainly important, to be able to make the throws from sideline to sideline, especially in those intermediate zones, drive the ball through space, because in this league, an open window is going to close in a hurry.
Give them a dozen yards on that one and give them first and goal. Here's a run. That's a nice pickup, bringing it down to the 3. Here now, second down and goal. They'll look to throw. That's caught. It's Bucky Irving. And he's going to go backwards on that one. They take him down back at the 6-yard line. Following the completion, we'll get a stoppage here for an injured player. Athletic training staff looking at him, so we'll step aside. Throwing here on third and goal. And the drive stalls out as he's brought down. And the field goal unit likely to come on here on fourth and goal.
I think this is one of those plays that when the ball carrier watches this back in the film room tomorrow, he's going to be a little frustrated with himself. If he could just have made that one guy miss, he picks up the first down. Instead, he gets brought down short of the sticks. Now they got a fourth down decision to make. Yeah, he does a nice job handling that kick there, but I think offensively, you come back to the sideline and you're thinking, we have to find a way to finish these drives. I mean, to be in first and goal and settle for 3, that can be very deflating for an offense settling for too many field goals.
Nice job on the return. He's down close to the 35-yard line. The Titans offense ready for their second possession. They had the interception on that opening drive. It only led to a field goal, so 3-0 as the offense comes back out first and 10. And he's brought down after a gain of 6 on first down.
So the hope is when you call these underneath drag routes, you're trying to have your tight end come out the backside of the defense in space. So when you put the ball on him early, it leads to big yards after the catch. In this case, they don't get the real big play they were hoping for, but they'll definitely take it.
They'll come up to third and 3. That's taken in by Burks. And he will have the first down. The drive will continue after a pickup of 8.
Mike, I think we make so much of all these fancy routes, right? The selling, the head fakes, getting in and out of the break. And while that's really important to create separation, that's really more of a man beater. That's when teams want to just play you one-on-one and you have to beat the defender. Against zone defense like we saw here, it's a lot more simpler. Understand.
In trouble, and he's going to be taken down.
If you're going to take a sack, you just can't add to it by taking such a massive loss on top of it. Understand when the pocket breaks down, move up, cut your losses. Now, not only do you lose that down, but now you face a big uphill battle if you want to extend this drive.
Work to do now as they come up on second and long. This pressure is relentless. They get him again.
Sometimes, Mike, your greatest strength can also be a little bit of your weakness. In this case, he is so used to being able to buy more time with his feet, extend the play, give his targets more time downfield to uncover. In this case, nothing materializes, tried to do too much, and as a result, takes a big loss.
What can they do here? This is third and forever. They'll throw out of the gun. That's caught down the field is Burks.
It's pretty evident, Mike, when a quarterback and his wide receiver are operating on the exact same page. The anticipation, the timing, the accuracy of both the route and the ball. And when they're working together like this, That's the definition of teach tape.
And that one had too much behind it. It's into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Tampa Bay offense. They're going to take over once more. They'll look to build on their 3-0 lead as this drive starts with a 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. The pass rush gets home, and he goes down.
This offense came into this drive hoping to extend their narrow lead, Mike, but instead, after first down, they find themselves in 2nd and forever following that big sack right out of the gate.
It's not like we can freeze the defense. We're going to make a play here.
First carry for Saquon Barkley. And he'll only manage to pick up 3 yards. And that leads to 3rd down. Now they'll set up to throw. And they will continue to go backwards. He's taken down for a sack.
The best thing they did here, Mike, is keep their rush lane integrity. What that means is you have to rush the quarterback as a unit. Keep him in the pocket. Keep him on that X. And when you do, man, he becomes a sitting duck for this pass rush.
And not much doing there. They made sure he would not get free. Out comes the Tennessee offense. They get set to see what they can do. They'll see if they can put something together here, beginning with 1st and 10. Quickly to the outside and complete. And they bring him down, but not until he crosses midfield.
This may look like a simple connection, Mike, just pitch and catch, but I can promise you the amount of time these two guys have spent together on the practice field, in the meeting rooms, just getting on the same page, seeing the game through the same set of eyes, it makes what's pretty difficult seem a lot easier.
And the quarterback scrambling, maneuvers his way back to the line of scrimmage, but that's all he can get out of that one. They'll try again here, 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing 3rd down. Little short pass here, caught by his tight end. And he's going to be taken down short of the marker. And that is going to set up an interesting 4th down decision. Here's Ryan Stonehouse now, as they'll say no to the long field goal and hope to pin them deep. That's going to be out of bounds. Well judged and spotted right at the 10-yard line. The Bucs offense ready to come back out for this next possession. They'll have a long field ahead of them as they start 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Barkley. Here's a 2nd and 9. Blitz coming. He'll throw it. There's a throw right side. It's going to be incomplete.
Well defended there. The quarterback's trying to attack this defense outside the numbers. Those really wide angle throws near the sideline sometimes can be very hard to defend. So give a lot of credit to this secondary. They were all on the same page, and the ball falls incomplete.
So a big 3rd down hookup takes us to the break. The Bucs have the early lead. We'll have more from Tampa after this. So, 1st and 10 here now at the 38. Back to throw. A hit as he throws there. It's going to wind up incomplete. The pressure got to him that time, and it'll set up 2nd down. They'll look to throw yet again. Under pressure, and down he goes. They got him.
Outside of a turnover, this was probably the worst-case scenario. Immediate pressure in his face with nowhere to go with the ball downfield. Just get the ball out of your hand. Live to play another down. Instead, he retreats backwards and leads to a massive loss.
Let's go! Let's go! Hey, I want to see your TV celebration. Hey!
Throwing now on 3rd and long. And that is incomplete.
This offense has to find a way to be better on 1st and 2nd down, Mike. Living in these 3rd and long situations, must pass, is not a recipe that their offensive coordinator wants to operate in.
That is fielded at the 13. And he'll get something there on the return, able to take this back to the 20-yard line. The Titans offense getting set to get back to work. They'll start out 1st down and 10. Drive will start on the ground. A gain of 4 as he's taken down. Here's 2nd and 6. Working from the shotgun, he'll hand this one off. And this is going to be a Titans 1st down as he gets this one up past the 30. On play action, he'll set up to throw. He's going to keep it himself. And he'll gain yardage and able to get down at the end of the play. Here's a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. Here's a toss, right side. And he'll have enough to move the chains. He'll take this forward for about 3 yards. Now after the run, we get a stoppage for an injured player. And as the medical staff looks him over, we'll step aside. Couple of 1st downs to start this drive. They're 1st and 10, up at the 42. This one complete right side. And he's taken down inside the opponent's 35.
These crossing concepts are frequently used, Mike, throughout the entire game, all across the league. And what it does is it creates a lot of natural rubs. You run out the backside of the defense and rely heavily on the yards after the catch, and it's exactly how they're able to pick up this big gain.
Here's 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Jaleel McLaughlin. And he'll take this forward for about 3. It's 2nd down. Throwing now from the gun. He's got it. That's Burks. And they'll whistle him down, but not before he picks up a 1st down after a gain of 7. In the red zone now, he'll drop to throw.
Certainly not the biggest play of the day, but a good example of picking up positive yardage, staying ahead of the chains by a well-timed ball and a well-timed route.
Quick throw, out wide. It's caught.
Defense does a nice job here initially using zone coverage to take away the middle of the field. That's the most valuable real estate in football. Quarterback gets off his first read, sees some openings to the sideline, and him and his receiver are able to connect.
Inside the 5, it is 2nd and goal. That's to the end zone, but they can't connect. It's incomplete. They go 5 receivers for 3rd down and 4. And he's in. Touchdown, Tennessee. Touchdown number 7 for him on the year. extra point attempt to follow. He's got it. And the Titans move out to a 7-3 lead. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. This is fielded inside the 5. And a decent return there. He'll get this up just shy of the 30. The Buccaneers offense makes their way back out to the field for their next possession. They trail by 4. Touchdown gives them the lead. Drive begins with 1st and 10. Back to throw here to begin the drive. He's close to a 1st down to gain a 9. Nice pitch and catch on 1st down. A good spot here, 2nd and a yard.
At the 37-yard line.
He finds Likely, his tight end. And he'll be taken down after a gain of 3, but that is good enough for a 1st down. To the tight end, Likely.
These are the play calls, Mike, that offensive coordinators use to just get their quarterback and their passing game into some sort of rhythm. Easy pitch and catch, get the ball out of his hand, see a completion. These typically, as the game goes on, lead to bigger and bigger gains.
And they're going to move this ball inside the 25-yard line.
There's this misconception out there, Mike, that in the NFL, you have to run the same amount of run plays as you do pass plays. And as you're seeing in this drive, you can fall on one side of that coin a little bit more as long as you're able to remain effective and efficient. So far, their passing game has dominated here early, and that last pickup leads to a 1st down.
Nowhere to go. He's going to be taken down.
This is the epitome of team defense. Not only are you able to rush the passer and put relentless pressure on him play after play, but the coverage on the back end is so tight. There's just nowhere for the quarterback to go with the ball. You see him just continue to hold the ball that extra second.
And they are not going to catch him. He's in. Bucky Irving. Touchdown, Buccaneers.
When you start talking about the qualities of a top-tier back in the NFL, Mike, we all talk about size, speed, the ability to keep your feet, the ability to have balance at contact. But the part we don't talk enough about is patience, understanding the blocking scheme, the timing, when to hit the hole, as much as what hole to hit. And I think you get a great example of what that looks like when it all comes together. He takes advantage of the scheme, and next thing you know, he hits his head on the goalpost.
So, after the touchdown, here's Gay to kick this one away. This will be returned from the 6. And it'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. A fresh set of downs to work with. It is 1st down and 10. Off the play fake. He'll look to throw. Gets it away quickly, and it's caught. And that keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a 1st down completion of 7 yards. 2nd down and 3. On the bootleg, he'll look to throw. And that's going to wind up incomplete. Pressure certainly impacted the quarterback there. Couldn't get his arm all the way through. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down. He'll drop to throw. This is intercepted. And he's going to be brought down. What a turn of events here. He has given his guys 1st and 10 in the red zone.
So the first part of any interception is just end up with the ball in your hands, right? That's what every defensive coordinator wants. But anytime you can get yards on the return, that's just an added bonus, and that's what we see here. There's a little space, does a great job securing the catch, and all of those yards just set up for better field position as their offense takes the field.
Right away, they'll set up to throw. Quick throw here is complete. An enviable spot to operate from. Here's 2nd and inches. Here comes the blitz as he looks to throw. To the end zone there, but it is incomplete. Chris Godwin, the receiver he was looking for. 3rd down coming up. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Throughout this entire game, we've really seen this quarterback operate very efficiently, not only being able to spread the ball to multiple playmakers, Mike, but really complete a high percentage of his passes. So can't let that last incomplete break what's been a really nice rhythm so far.
And he's going to have the Buccaneers 1st down as they get 4 on 4th and inches. Here's Barkley. No, he's not going to get in. In fact, they've shoved him backwards.
That was just a race to the edge, and in this case, Mike, he just wasn't the winner. I mean, at this point, when the defense is out there waiting for you, it's tough for any runner in this league to even get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Out of the gun, he'll throw. Nowhere to get away, and he's going to go down.
What a great job in this game by the defensive coordinator, continuing to put his players in position to succeed. And boy, have they taken advantage of it. But on the other side, they got to do something different. They got to bring in some extra blockers. They got to change up and go max protection. They have to give their quarterback a little bit of time, or else they've got no shot.
Matt Gay coming on for this field goal try. This about as short as you can get. He is 2 for 2. That kick is good. And the Bucs going to tack on 3 more, extending the lead here late in the 1st half. After the field goal, back out is Gay to kick this one off. From the 6, here comes a return. And their drive will begin at the 30-yard line. Set to go now on 1st and 10. Got a man coming across the field. He's got it. And he's going to be brought down up past the 45. He'll look to throw here on 1st down. And he's not going to be able to get away. Very good coverage on the perimeter. It goes down as a loss of yards.
I think this play is a direct result of his film study. He knew exactly where that ball was going before the play was snapped, and that play recognition, man, it separates a lot of guys in this league and results in a negative play.
Catch made there by Burks. And he's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 5. On 3rd down, they'll set up to throw. And he's going to run out of time. They get to him and bring him down. Here's their punter now, as he's on to punt for Tennessee. The Bucs offense going to take over here in the final minute of this 1st half. They work with a 6-point advantage as they start this drive on 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Short pass taken in by the tight end. 6 catches for him in the ball game now, and this one's good for a first down.
This is such a critical moment in the game, that middle 4 minutes, the final 2 minutes of the first half, and then the possession to come out of the halftime break. So maximizing this possession here before halftime is critical. See if you can get a drive starter. See if you can get an easy completion to kickstart a 2-minute mode. And that's what they got here. Now they got to see if they can go down and steal some points.
On 2nd and 10, they'll try to throw. Over the middle, that's Godwin. He's going to be a little short of the first down there. He's up to the 45-yard line. They'll look to pick this up 3rd and a yard. Now they'll set up to throw. That's caught. Saquon Barkley. And it looks like he's going to have enough. Indeed, the referee does signal it is a first down. The Buccaneers forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go until halftime. They'll look to throw again. That's complete to Moore on the right side. That's his 3rd catch of this first half, and good enough for a first down. They'll look to throw yet again. And he'll be taken down. They got him back at the 50-yard line. So we're at halftime here in Tampa, and the Buccaneers are in the lead as we toss it an hour or so east to Orlando, and Jonathan Coachman standing by for the EA Sports halftime report. All yours, Coach.
All right, Michael, we'll get back to you and Greg in just a little bit. For now, plenty of early action in the 1 o'clock Eastern window.
And both teams ready to play on, so we'll do the same as we get set for quarter number 3. This is going to be taken in at the 3. Nice job by the return team as he takes it across the 30-yard line. They'll come up here, 1st and 10. Back to throw. His throw left side is complete. They will bring him down on the other side of midfield.
Anytime you're facing a zone defense, you're working from your first progression all the way through. But when guys are open in this level, Mike, they don't stay open very long. So what they taught us as receivers, if you're open, stay open. And if you're not open, you better get open quick because that ball is coming out.
He'll look to throw. And a good effort there defensively. It's knocked away and incomplete. We'll try again. It's 2nd and 10. Blitz coming. He'll throw it. This one out to Watson. And they'll get about 8 out of that one, but still a little work to do now on 3rd down. Pick this one up on the ground. And he will have a Titans first down. At least it appears that way. He got it maybe by the length of the football. Throwing now from the gun. And he can't hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. What a good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. And it'll be 2nd down. Now give on the ground. And he's bottled up but now face third down. And for a third time today, he's intercepted. It's the linebacker, Tremaine Edmonds.
When you find yourself in this situation, you're on defense, you're defending your own goal line, you got to take some chances. You got to try to force a turnover and make a play and get off the field. That's exactly what this defender did. Takes a chance, bets on himself, and comes away with a pick to save them some points.
The Buccaneers offense trotting back out for their first involvement of this second half. They'll begin with 1st and 10. Quick throw, taken in. He's close to a first down. It's a gain of 9. Nice pitch and catch on first down. 2nd and a yard.
At the 32-yard line.
Quick throw, out wide. It's caught. And they'll be set up now. Up past the 40 with that one. So they come to the line for first down and 10. Here's Irving. And a nice run. Get him about 9. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Across midfield to the 48-yard line. It's a gain of 9. Brings up 2nd and a yard.
That one complete to Moore. Down the right sideline. And he will get into the end zone. Elijah Moore. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. What a job to finish the play with a touchdown. The catch and carry, and the carry part, Greg, that was the most impressive there.
Well, you said it, Mike. The catch was nice, but it's what can you do after the catch that really separates guys in this league. And in this case, he did plenty because it ended up in a touchdown.
Now, a 2-point conversion attempt coming. It's the tight end likely in motion. Oh, he's going to be bottled up and taken down. They got him.
So they decide to put the ball in the air, which I don't mind on this 2-point try, but their execution was just a little bit off, and it's not going to work out in their favor this time around.
So, after the touchdown, here's Gay to kick this one away. They're trying to pin him deep. They'll take this from the 3. He'll get this past the 20 before he's brought down shy of the 25-yard line. The Titans offense and their quarterback headed out for their next possession. And the turnovers have really been the story here. Take you back through the the lowlights in this one. Not a lot of positives when you have a 3-interception game under pressure all game long. The secondary feasting on his passes. They'll begin here on the ground. And nothing on that one. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. The man in motion is Watson. They'll try to hit him with a screen. And they'll get about 8 out of that one, but still a little work to do now on third down. Handoff here, up the middle, and that one shut down pretty quickly. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, nothing more.
All the qualities that make a good safety are seen on display on this play. Speed, pursuit, and then the intensity and the strength at the point of contact for the tackle to keep this ball carrier to no gain. That is a complete safety play.
The home team's offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he's had it going in the first half. Really had his way with the secondary. They have been powerless to stop him. Now, they're trying to keep it going. On the ground, it's Irving. He'll work his way ahead for a gain of about 4. Now, after the run, we get a stoppage for an injured player. So, as they look at the injured player, we'll take a timeout. Here's a 2nd and 6. Right back to Irving. And he'll take this up, working towards the first down mark. He gets 5, but is just a little short of the first down. Third and a yard. They'll throw out of the gun. There's that man again. Another catch.
When you decide to throw the ball on 3rd and 1, typically, Mike, what you're doing is you start from the top down. If you have the big shot downfield, take it. If not, the quarterback works through his progression, finds the medium target, picks up a first down.
And a nice run there on first down, getting 8. Setting up 2nd and 2.
Brings up 2nd and 2.
On the handoff, it's Irving. Irving's got a first down, still going. And he'll be marked down at the 45-yard line.
Pretty much just more of the same from what we saw with this back in the first half. And he doesn't need much. He gets a little bit of space, and then he can create the rest. It's the combination of patience, vision, and then the burst to hit the hole once he sees it. This guy's been a handful all day.
And this time, they are ready for him. Thrown for a loss, and it's 2nd down.
Behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2. Brings up 2nd and 12.
They'll run with Irving. And they'll stop it. At least it's an improvement over the last play. They're not losing yardage, but they didn't gain any here. And now it's going to be 3rd down.
It's 3rd down and 12.
He'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete.
He decides to go with the safe throw and throws it well short of the sticks. And at this level, Mike, you just can't miss layups like that.
This one angles out of bounds, and the mark comes inside the 15-yard line. The Titans offense make their way out to take over once more. This secondary will get a lot of the credit. 3 picks so far. But, Greg, the pass rush has been relentless as well.
Yeah, I think it's super important, Mike, that we point out just how much the pass rush and then the secondary coverage works together. The more that rush gets home, the faster that ball gets out. We can play certain coverages knowing the timing of the quarterback has to be sped up. So often, the teams that are the most successful in this league, Mike, they have the best understanding. When our back end and our front end are working in unison, man, it puts a lot of pressure on not only the quarterback, but the entire offense.
They'll run. This is McLaughlin. And this is going to be a Titans first down as he gets this one up past the 30.
Down at these distances, Mike, you pretty much anticipate a pass, and I think that's what the defense was lined up thinking. In this case, they leave a little too much room on the ground, and the offense is able to pick up a first down.
Line of scrimmage is the 31 as they line up 1st and 10. run here. It's McLaughlin. Running room hard to come by as he'll get ahead for a yard. Tyke Smith there on the stop. So after the loss on first, here's 2nd and 14. Now this time they'll look to throw. Now he takes off.
Initially, Mike, a really good job by the defense. Nowhere to go with the ball for this quarterback. He's forced to pull it down and turn into a runner. A little slow reaction, and he's able to actually pick up a pretty good game.
Shotgun snap as they'll throw it on 3rd down. 13 yards on that pass play. That's good for a Titan first down.
I'd like to see them do a better job here the rest of the game, Mike, just disguising the coverage from the pre-snap look to the post-snap look. And what I mean is, when you have a quarterback at this level and what they see before the ball's in their hands is the exact same thing they see once they do get the ball, everything is just so much easier for them to process. Change the look, change the coverages, move your safeties. Make the quarterback have to process with the ball in his hand.
Injured player on the field. He's battled through injuries throughout his career. Christian Watson, the injured party. They'll come up 1st and 10 at the 40. On the ground, McLaughlin. And he'll be stacked up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
You could just see the frustration on the running back's face as he's getting helped up off the ground. Like, there was just nowhere to go from the moment he was handed the ball. Give credit to the defense. Great job.
Ineligible receiver downfield.
You only get a 1-yard buffer from the line of scrimmage for these old linemen. That time he strayed a little too far, and it draws the flag. A run now with McLaughlin. He'll be marked down very close to the first down. They got 14 to the 15 that they needed. It's going to set up a manageable 3rd and short. He's got his tight end. That's Okonkwo. And he'll be brought down on what will be the final act here in this 3rd quarter. First and 10. They're going to motion the tight end over here. He keeps it himself. Good job breaking the pocket and going for 14 yards, and most importantly, a first down.
They got to do a better job of keeping the quarterback contained in the pocket all week, Mike, against mobile quarterbacks. You talk about rushing as a group. This time they get a little undisciplined with their rush lane integrity, and he makes them pay.
Lane fills quickly. Only managed to get this to the 14. Here's 2nd and 9. Shotgun snap. He'll look to throw. That one pinballs around, but it is incomplete. Trying to keep the drive alive. Going to have to convert on 3rd and 9. They'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. That is great work there, making things difficult defensively. It'll set up a 4th down. Here comes the blitz as he looks to throw. To the back of the end zone. He's got it. Traylon Burks. Touchdown, Titans. Greg, they are pecking away at this one now. Very big touchdown. Gets them right within reach of pulling this comeback off.
Well, Mike, at the very least, they've given themselves a chance. But can they get a stop and get the ball back again for a chance to go down and really make this one interesting?
The extra point is good. And the Titans have cut the deficit to 5. So, things a little more interesting now. Back to a one-score game as they kick it away. Williams now to return. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. The home team's offense and their running back, Bucky Irving, ready to hit the field again. And he has put in a full game's work and then some. Just an incredible performance on the ground to this point in the fourth quarter. It's the tight end Likely in motion. Who else? Another catch for his favorite target. And that keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a first down completion of 7 yards. Here's 2nd and 3 to go. On play action, he'll set up to throw. A pass pulled in by Irving. They'll spread the formation here. Let's see what the call is on 3rd and inches. Coming open, that's the tight end Likely. And he's going to have a Buccaneers first down. He has it by plenty. They keep the drive alive here on 3rd and inches. A give. This is Irving. And good blocking up front, paving the way for a gain of 8 on the ground. We'll come to the line now on 2nd and 2. He'll go again here with Irving. And that won't get a whole lot. Maybe a yard. That's it.
And with that run, Mike, even though it brings up 3rd down, it still keeps this offense in what they call a 50-50 downs. It means with the down and distance provided, you can call a run or a pass, and both are equal threats. And that's what makes it so hard for these defenses to defend those situations.
They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for 1st and 10. He's going to look for the home run ball. And that is incomplete.
I could sit up here all day, Mike, and we could talk about the missed throw. But I think a lot of the credit has to go to the pass defense. Not only did they do a good job making it difficult for them to complete the pass, but I think they saved the touchdown.
Oh, they got the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Roger McCreary.
I think you chalk this one up, Mike, to just a rookie mistake. And anytime you have a young signal caller behind center, you're going to have to deal with some of these ups and downs. Every once in a while, they're just not going to see the coverage. They're going to get baited into making a bad throw. That's kind of par for the course. The key is how fast can these rookie quarterbacks turn the page, move on, and not make the same mistake again.
The visitors' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he has been in control of this offense. Want to run you through some of the action from earlier on. You've got the 2 touchdown passes, over 200 passing yards. He has been excellent all game long. Off the play fake. He'll look to throw. Now he'll air one out. That is brought in. And he will take this one in. 70 yards. Touchdown, Tennessee. What a game this has been. Back and forth we go, and that fourth quarter score changes the lead one more time.
And we've seen the lead go back and forth, Mike, and now the question is, can they get a stop? Can they find a way defensively to hang on to this lead and get themselves this big win?
Big two-point conversion now coming for the Titans. Off play action. He'll set up to throw. That's going to be caught. They get the 2 points. Man, this could turn out to be important. The lead goes to 3 here in the fourth quarter. So now playing with the lead after that fourth quarter touchdown Time to kick it back the other way. He'll start at the 4. And he is stopped at the 25. The drive will begin there. The home team's offense ready for this next possession. This one has been tight so far. A field goal separating the two sides as this drive kicks off with 1st and 10. Back to throw here to begin the drive. Toward the middle, that's caught by Moore.
Well, it goes without saying. You want to play wide receiver in the NFL, Mike. How well can you change directions? How fast can you get your body from one direction to another? And when you can cut like this guy, I'm not sure how you guard him.
And not much there. He's back to the original line. No gain on that one. Ball out to the 35-yard line as they come up for 1st and 10. Out of the gun, he'll throw. That's complete to Moore on the right side. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield.
And this is a tricky part of the game for any defense. You find yourself protecting a late lead, and the age-old question is, do you remain aggressive? Do you try to just keep the ball from being thrown over your head and make everything be tackled and played in front of you? That's what every defensive coordinator struggles with, so they can't get too soft here as they try to hold on to this lead here late.
And he'll get about 8 on that one, most of it coming after the catch. It's 2nd down.
At the Titans' 43-yard line.
Now, faking the give. That's to the sideline and intercepted.
And at this point in the game, Mike, we all know one play can be the difference between winning and losing. And now after that poor throw, we'll see, can they capitalize on this extra possession that they just stole?
The visitors' offense and their big play wideout getting set for their next possession. They lead by a field goal as they go to work with a 1st and 10. Right away, they'll set up to throw. That's complete. It's McLaughlin. It'll be taken down rather swiftly after a gain of just 3. They face 2nd down and 7. Putting the tight end in motion. On 2nd down, they run the counter. And that one going to be closed down the backfield. Great defensive play. Knifing it and dropping him for a loss.
You know, at this point, the defense has to sell out and stop the run. You know exactly what the offense is trying to get accomplished by keeping the ball on the ground. But now the question remains.
And they will continue to go backwards. He's taken down for a second.
As this clock continues to tick, we're getting dangerously close here to do-or-die territory. But after that 3rd down sack, real good chance of getting off the field. No points allowed. Let's see if their offense now can do their job, because defense certainly did theirs.
The drive begins at the 20. Here's 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He gets this one to Moore. And mark him down up beyond the 30. All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning remain as we get set for 1st and 10. Back to throw. He's got his man on the in route. Yes, take it in over the middle. Catch number 7 so far in this one. And a 1st down.
This is clinic tape for any young wide receiver out there watching this guy run routes. He has the defender thinking everything is a go ball. Attack him vertically, and then when you get to your route depth, you stick that foot in the ground, you break in, balls on time, results in a nice 1st down pickup.
On 1st and 10, they'll set up to throw. That'll be taken in by Moore. And he's going to be taken down, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10. Here's a designed run. And a nice run. Get him about 9. It'll bring up 2nd down.
A gain of 9 brings up 2nd and 1 at the 18-yard
They'll drop to throw. Oh, and a crusher there. He can't get a throw away. And he's taken down.
A loss of 12 brings up 3rd down.
Throwing now on 3rd and long. That is incomplete. And here we go. They're down to what could be their final play. It's 4th down. So out comes Matt Gay in a big spot. This to even the score late. This one is on target, and it is good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter.
And this is where it pays to have a kicker you can trust, Mike. I mean, this is as big a spot as there is. 4th quarter, what does he do? He comes out and he delivers to tie up this game.
He'll get this up to the 28-yard line. Nice place for the drive to start. The Titans offense and their wide receiver getting ready to get back to work. And he's looking to finish strong. He has been unquestionably the star of the show, as they have just absolutely had no answer on the defensive side of the ball. That ball intercepted. And he's going to give a short field to his offense here as they try to break the tie.
Mike, this guy has just been on another level the entire day. I mean, there's not a guy out there who is seeing the field as well as he has. I mean, forget having days like this as a pro. Most guys don't have days like this at any level throughout their career. I mean, this is one he'll look back on for a long time.
The Buccaneers offense starting to trot out for this next possession. They'll start in outstanding field position, looking for a way to break our tie. They'll run. And nothing on that one. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. Here's 2nd down. They'll run here. And he will not be able to get free, picking up only a yard. Now, it's 3rd down. They'll keep it on the ground. Titans going to use the last of their timeouts here. They get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining here in the 4th. They still have all 3 timeouts, and here we go with 1st and 10. They'll stick to the ground. And he's brought down after a gain of a couple. 2nd down, 8 for the 1st down.
A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8.
They'll run it. It's Irving. And he is not going to get away. Might have gotten a yard, but it will set up 3rd down.
A 30-yard attempt.
This kick is good. And that very likely will be a game winner.
And that's just got to be a great feeling over on that sideline, Mike. I mean, an excellent job by this offense to give yourself a chance to win it. And then this kick. I mean, what's left to be said? It was never in doubt, and it's going to lead this team to a victory.
And he'll be taken down, and that is going to do it. Oh, the comeback falls short. Time runs out. This game is over. So, a win here for the Buccaneers. They get themselves into field goal range for one final shot. Kicker delivers. They avoid overtime and come away with a 3-point victory. So that'll just about do it for Greg Olson and our entire team. I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Buccaneers get the win as we say so long from Tampa.